It is yours. It is yours. So, and we would like you to wear it on every event that you have. Not in a way to brag about it, but hopefully when they see you wearing it, they see what leadership really means. And so from the shirt, they would somehow begin to understand.
Do we give it to the next president?
No, it's yours. For two reasons. One is you're special. Second is for hygienic purposes. So, all right. So enough about the shirts. We really want to harness an atmosphere every time we meet. This is a class, but we want it to be like a boardroom. We actually wanted to design this like the UN General Assembly. And so come in smart casual. So in the spirit of professionalism. So all of your shirts are in here. There's names on them already. For our beautiful sisters, we only have small. So again, it's the meaning of the shirt. You can come here. It's small. This is small. Sorry, this is the smallest.
This is small?
As long as it fits us.
Yeah, this is the smallest. So we still have. Anyway, so for the sisters, you can come in style too, like the 80s. So however you want to do it, but it's the meaning behind the shirt. All right, let's give more meaning to this shirt now as we learn. So again, we'll keep reminding ourselves every time you wear this shirt and you see someone, make be a reminder. I'm a leader who is aligned with the mission of the university, and eventually we'll get that across. So let's talk about meetings. Anyone here who loves attending meetings or who loves meetings? Andre, Steven, a few of us. Let's be more specific. Who loves attending meetings? Who loves conducting meetings? I appreciate your honesty, and that's what we want. But and hopefully through this short lesson, and then a forum later on in discussing, let's understand what meetings are all about. I just read a book. Anyone who knows Dr. Hannanen from the School of Business gave Corbin a book, and I read it. He let me read it. He's so nice. I don't know if he plans to read it, but he lets me read. It's by Patrick Lencioni, and the title of the book are The 5 Dysfunctions of an Organization. I recommend it. I don't get any commission out of plugging his book, but I recommend it because it's good. It's a fable leadership, and he had he kind of explained a little bit what meetings are about, and I would like you to digest what he said in relation to leadership.
You know, CEOs say to me, you know, Pat, if I didn't have to go to meetings or manage people, I really like this job. You know, when we complain about meetings, there's something really wrong. That would be like a surgeon rolling somebody in the operator and saying, if I didn't have to operate on these people, this would be a sweet gig. Or Michael Jordan, if it weren't for all those games and practices, playing basketball would have been really great. This is what we do. Most of us aren't making heart devices. Most of us are not delivering babies or kicking field goals or growing corn. We are leaders. We go to meetings. That's where we lead. And when we say, I hate meetings, what we're really saying is, I hate leading.
Does it make sense? Do you agree? If you disagree, beat him up. I'm okay with that. But does it make sense?
Let's beat him up.
Let's digest that a little bit. What did he say? If you don't like meetings,
Then you don't like leading.
that means you don't like leading. Anyone who wants to share their thought on that? And what are the connections?
But meeting is kind of the heart of everything that's going on outside. You meet because you want to make sure that everything is well outside. And that's the purpose why he said that if you don't like meeting, then you don't like leading.
Yeah. You know what I like about, don't forget your thought. You know what I like about how he expressed it too? Is he categorized it. He had to categorize it in such a way that we don't manufacture things. We're not heart surgeons. When we somehow assume the position of a leader. We are there to lead, and meetings are the avenues. So if we're avoiding those avenues, then we can already see that there's no outlet wherein we can really help and influence our people. So now,
I think it depends on what type of meeting that is. Because some people tend to don't have meetings because those meetings can just go on and they just discuss all
Sweet.
things and then it doesn't have a time limit. So if it's a productive meeting that will, discuss just the goals and objectives and finish off, that people would like to go because it's productive.
I'm loving this class because we're now getting straight into the issue of things. And so that's why the question, who loves meetings? Both attending and conducting. Because if you don't like meetings and you're conducting it, guaranteed, your people don't like meetings also. And so hopefully we'll enjoy meetings now, but we'll learn why we have to enjoy them.
Well, I like how he did some analogy on how did Michael Jordan did practice, he would never achieve that. So I think it's when we do meetings, it's more like we go to the meetings, we do the meetings because we want to reach the goal.
Correct.
And whatever the goal you'll be, the assignment or whatever. But it doesn't mean, we don't want to attend meetings or we like being at the meeting.
Yeah.
It's painful. I mean, practicing and that can be painful, very hard. Because I think it's just something that drives us is being able to reach the goal. It makes us to go to the goal.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And now I think we're ready to learn about, get into the details of what makes meetings nice and productive and less painful as possible. But before that, let me show you something cool. Well, first is I've quoted this before, half the victory is won in the general stand. And meetings is what goes on in the general stand. So if we can already have that perspective that if we could just meet and understand how meetings go, then we've won half the victory. If we have events, half of it is already done. The reason why we always scramble is if meetings aren't done correctly, how can you expect implementation to be done correctly if in the meetings where the minds and understanding are supposed to happen at the very conception, which is at the meeting time. So, but let me share with you something cool, meaning let's look at a good vision of what meetings can accomplish. And Na probably can give us a little bit more explanation. I found this video clip, I thought it was remarkable. And I can only think, before they have done this, they must have done quite a few meetings. This is in Japan. It's a national sport, I think. Don't you just wish that your events would just run smoothly like that? Did you guys see Na? He was actually the other one right here.
I was there, actually.
But is that a national sport in Japan? That's a
I don't think so.
competition.
Well, probably they're doing it just by college or university.
I see. But when I saw that, I'm like, no, man, if I was a leader, it would be sweet if everything just would go smoothly, even the complicated ones. Can you just imagine how many meetings they have gone to before understanding and talking about everything. And so I just wanted us to see a vision. Meetings are they can be painful, but if we are willing to understand how they work, we can accomplish even such difficult things. So, why meetings? I propose that they are means for leaders to build shared vision. If you go out of a meeting without a shared vision, it's going to be difficult. Team collaboration and action items for execution. Let me just share very quickly. Understanding the why from President Obdorf. Stephen, can you please read this for us?
The what is important and we need to attend to it, but it is in the why that we discover the fire, passion and power. If you understand the why of things, the how of things will naturally follow.
So this is from President Obdorf, and then an area authority in the Philippines somehow shared this as well. So I would like to share a simple concept. In everything, if it's something to consider, is understand the why first. Because the why is what fires the passion. It's what gives you understanding. And then the what becomes, it gives greater meaning now in everything that you do and how you do it. So, this is from the Harvard Business Communication. We'll just breeze through this very quickly. The 10 Commandments of Meeting, and Sonali had mentioned a little bit of it. I'll just share the 10 Commandments. Starting from the back, Claudio, if you can read the first commandment, and then we'll go. And then we'll somehow discuss the things that need a little bit of discussion, but they're pretty straightforward. Number one.
We should know what time it is.
Just like what Sonali said, we really just need to know and follow the time.
Thou shalt not forget the main reason for meeting.
What is the main reason for meetings? Very quickly. Huh? To accomplish objectives. So, by the way, I uploaded all of this on Canvas, yeah? So they're available to you. This article from Harvard, their article said in business meetings had 3 primary purposes: communicating, administering, and deciding. And he claims that if we forget those purposes, then meetings are useless. Matt, please.
Yes, I remember the golden rule of meetings: praise in public, criticize in private.
So I hope we don't use meetings to be criticized or chastised in public.
Thou shalt not convene meetings outside of normal meetings.
What does that mean? So it's when regular business hours, not unless it's a real emergency, we don't get them out of. Everybody's busy, and what Harvard says, if you convene meetings outside of normal meetings, it just shows that you don't have a social life. That's why you're okay to meet even in crazy hours. Next, please.
Thou shalt not use pressure to rock roll conclusions.
This is just to influence people of what you want. Maybe just like that guy at the beginning, in his mind, that's how he should help. And sometimes we influence them to our way instead of for the common good.
Thou shalt not use meetings to destroy others' characters.
Okay.
We shall keep the personal and corporate distinct.
I shall remember that the best model for meetings is democracy, not monarchy.
Thou shalt always bury your agenda. Separate
Beforehand. So that's what will kind of help each other today. So the same groupings, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. Just like what we've discussed the last time. Let's discuss and prioritize 4 of the toughest challenges we face in meetings. Just throw some of what would be something you think is the biggest challenge of agenda? or meetings in general? Time? Let's put here time. Attendance. What else? Location? Refreshment. If anybody did see that person, I have a strong feeling that comment came from Malachi. Okay, we can throw any issue, anything that you think are the issues that we face. Any more crazy issue? Focus. I'll put here objectives. Budget. Okay, now let's vote. What do you think are the 4 toughest meetings, challenges that we face during meeting? Is time? Would you vote time to be there? Attendance?
Yes.
Location? Refreshments? Focus? Objectives?
Yeah.
Budget? Okay, objectives. So number 1, time. We'll give you 5 minutes, and you don't have to focus. We already know the issue, the issues. If it's necessary, then present it. But within the 5 minutes, come up with the best solutions that you can think of, even best practices from your own experience or others' experiences, and write as much as you can. So the simple, and then select someone who would read it. Yeah. Group 2, attendance. Again, the same formula. Think of the best practices, the best solutions, and then group 3, focus, and then group 4, objectives. Are the instructions clear? So there's no need for a lot of discussion, except that focusing on what are the best practices that we know of, or the best solutions we can think of to battle this issue. Go. I'll give you a background music of vocal points so that you hear them a little bit.
What do you think?
Oh, by the way, those who come up with the best solutions can enjoy a little treat tonight.
Let's do it.
Yeah, what's treat? What's treat coming? You know, like, it's a motivation.
Serious.
That's a trick.
Because as a leader, you have to share for everyone.
So they want us to give solutions before.
Just for attend.
And
Well, the real issue is we have meetings, but people don't know why and how we can make it.
something to do with the task, something to do with timing, attendance, something to do with time. Yeah, whole chapter.
For the whole chapter, just for the. Let's talk about the presidents.
The presidency meeting.
Do you think gotta do with the time, like if like time conflict?
Or do you mean like they cannot come because the time?
Yeah, the time conflict.
We have time.
Do they understand why we want them to meet, like the reason? The reasons.
We have unexpected event. We also have
Like he said, the reason, like the member do not really understand the reason
of the meeting. Why do we have the meeting?
But at least we have.
So they don't understand why we have a meeting.
some basic ideas. She's still gonna spend a lot of time with the discussion. Discuss what we're gonna have. So sort of like more half an hour, close it to what we're gonna do. Even they have the basic ideas. How can we help our
Okay, 2 more minutes. Make sure to write down the solution, including
Maybe like knowing the whole
yeah, they're all.
maybe they think not enough to come because I'm just the secretary or I'm just over they know that then we want to
Hey, how about our part? When we make it clear now, like we stay like our purpose, why we want to do it. Just like we right now we think about somebody else's part. Let's think about our part. What didn't we do to let them see like that? So should we like have state the purpose clear now why we want to do it?
That's okay. Communication. When you say it's at 7:30, and the other one understood 9:30.
So they're kind of sharing the same.
Or more
And maybe like
planning.
Now the solution.
Now the solution to it.
Identify like
Okay, 1 minute.
common time, the mixture time.
Everyone get peace.
Usually like in my meeting, for the time, just for the time, I will ask like all people personally in Facebook first the time that they can and give my time. So same with the case answer, find a common time because I'm sure there is.
Okay, now we're talking about common time, right? How do you find that common time?
What he just said.
I just like I
All right, wrap things up
These two are-
and choose someone to read. Not to explain, just read the solutions. Okay.
Okay. Very understandable. Who wants to read it?
All right. Okay. Let's pay attention now to group 1. They'll read their solutions. Go ahead.
Okay, so time, the problem is that we don't come on time, punctuality is a problem. So the solutions we came up with is be realistic, make it a realistic time. So if they have work at 9, don't make it 9:50, they cannot come at 15 minutes. Make realistic time flexible for everyone and be an example, be there on time. And then number 2, plan ahead. So we were talking about planning ahead and printing it out so that we print before the meeting, we print out the agenda so that we have objectives planned already. So we have a dedicated amount of members, so who's doing what, so that we will stick to the plan and we will not go everywhere. And number 3, have a control of the meeting so that if somebody is talking too much or going everywhere, we can control and save time and have a successful.
Perfect. Thank you. Just one quick to add to that is set house rules so that it's not awkward. If everybody understands that if you're talking too much, when they stop you, no offense, but it's just a signal that you. I was at a state young men, young women presidency one time, and we set house rules that no side comments. And if we don't finish our agenda within an hour, we're gonna have to. It's our fault, so we're gonna have to pay the consequences. So in our meetings, no side comments, because we said we can talk later, we can chat all we want, but with the meeting, let's just really go with the plan. So, thanks.
Okay, so I will read what we actually had on the problem of attendance. So first we remarked that why we have a problem with attendance when we have a meeting is because the meeting is not well planned. And also we have the problem of the time just like theirs. It's not the right time for them. We have a problem of communication when we say it's at 7:30, they come at 9:30. And we also have a problem of responsibility. They don't know, like, as a secretary, they have to attend that meeting, and they think that maybe they don't have to. And also an unexpected event. You know, something, you know, maybe his wife will get birth, or I don't know. So the answer is that we kind of have, the solution that we have is, first, we kind of join to what they say is really to plan ahead. So that's one of the common things that maybe we will come with. It's to ask for the free time before. Like, we know we're gonna have a meeting, like I'm the president, I know that through the semester we have a meeting, so I will have to ask all the people in my presidency what time they're free, so we can kind of have a common ground on it. And then the other one is also to understand that, you know, it's something that can happen. You have an unexpected event, okay, it can happen, but just let us know that you are not coming to the meeting, so we can just move ahead and not wait for you or whatever. And also try to make sure that everyone understands his responsibility. You're the secretary, you know, this is what you have to do. So everyone has to know that. And the other one is communicate. So I kind of make sure, and remember is kind of the same with recall. You have to tell them, hey, we have a meeting, hey, we have a meeting, hey, we have a meeting, even if it's bothering for them. You have to just say that.
Sure. Thank you. Good. Next group.
So, our solution for the focus is we kind of like join them together, like send the agenda to everyone before the meetings, and delegates the responsibility to everyone, like opening prayer, like budgeting, planning on the activity, and other things. And the most important thing is they have to have a desire, the motivation to discuss what we want, and then we can focus on it. Yeah, so.
Sweet. Thank you very much. Last group.
Still writing motions. For objectives, we would agree that our pool of objectives in the meeting should always swerve around what you have on your shirt. That's the first thing that we do. Second, our meeting often turns into a monarchy. We should always have democracy in it. In terms of, we always look at our chapter as a whole. It's like looking at a house that needs renovation. You need to look at the corners that need the most renovation. Probably the soonest. You need to look at individuals, look at the self-interest of all members. So in our meetings, we often forget that members, that individuals make up the whole chapter. So we need to make objectives for those who need the most. I don't think we have a third one.
That's all right. Good deal. Let's summarize as we end. Just like meetings, we try to start on time and end on time as well. Let me ask for a few more minutes. Not more than. So, objectives. I like what you said about objectives. If we can, the more that we simplify things, the better it would be for us. If this would be our objective, we already have a framework. I even like what Noah presented one time, that our vice president should be assigned in every single